The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy.
On this episode of Pennies Going in Raw, we interview the founder and co-founder with Mark Cuban at NFT, Jason Falovitch. We also talk about when to add more of a stock that's dipping by using confirmation of a reversal.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello, 40% is a fucking killing.
We've been compliant for too long. It's time we go to war.
I don't have a Roth.
Hugh knows so much about the market that his brain doesn't have enough room for grammar.
Hey, who told me about IDEX? It's going up a shit ton now.
Rob, 4%, baby. No way. 4 fucking percent.
You asked the exact same question with 2 words different.
It's like, man, I just got dick whipped for like 20%, and now that f***er's up like 50.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
I'm just making this voice memo to call out unusual whales to a fight.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us. Pennies.
Going in raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity Dips,
And Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny.
And Christian.
Let's go, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going in Raw. Today is Sunday, October the 10th, and we're recording this on Thursday as Hugh's got to make his way down to Orlando. I hope everyone had fun with at the Orlando conference. By the time you guys are listening, you'll probably be heading back. But with that being said, I mean, we talked about the big dip we saw on Monday with inflation. And Thursday, I mean, SPY's up 1.5%, 1.5%. It's up around $6 as we record this around 11 Eastern time. But I mean, it's what we just talked about on Wednesday. We were saying, we're seeing these 1.5% moves, these 1% moves, these gigantic moves for a $440 stock,
Yeah. No, you're right on par. It's the range is killer right now because the chop is with that 1% move, stuff will move up 2%, but then on that 1% drawdown, things will be down like 4%. But I think it's interesting because we're coming up to like kind of this key level here at 445. But SPY is really ripped inside the past 2 days off that 428 low. I mean, it's ripped like 20 points. So, I don't know. It's just interesting because with Trump, I felt like we always expected him to come out and say, the economy is the best it's ever been. Basically buy the dip. Like that's essentially what he would say anytime that the market was on a dip. So now that we've broken that ascending triangle and now we're like coming back up to those highs, it's like, are we going to make a new high or are we just going to, like, I think some of the fear when I talk to some of the older, boomer traders, if you will, is that they're worried that we just go into a range for the next like 3 years, like a 6 or 8% range. And that's what they're worried about. So I don't know. I'm really excited for this. Like the last 16 months has been so monumental and so historical in so many ways, but specifically to the stock market, I mean, there's so many case studies to be talked about.
I actually thought about this after we recorded Wednesday's episode where there was that day where the market was down like 2-3% or something. And you thought like, okay, to halt down, it has to do, I think 7.5% in one day for the first tier. And then it halts for 15 minutes. I don't think since March has the market dropped down 7.5% consecutively ever. Like even like in a month and in any amount of time, it's just been completely bull. It's never had a 7% pullback, has it, since last March?
Oh no. I mean, we had the election dip. But I don't think that was, if it was 7%, it was like right on.
Yeah, because I mean, 7% is like $30 if it's 440, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I'm even looking at what I thought was a bigger dip back in July, and that was only 3%. So it's crazy to think. I'll check real quick, but no, the October dip was so in total, yeah. So it was about 8%, but that was over a month. So that's really not, we had bounces back here and there, so it really didn't feel like that. But yeah, wow. I mean, and then the second that the election's over, we were at like all-time highs within like a week, which is just insane. But no, you're right. I mean, it's actually insane when you look at the chart. I mean, we could regain the ascending triangle here. I mean, we did gap up, and now we're kind of moving, and we're about to test like the 50-day moving average as a resistance point. Now, if we get over that 50, which is also happens to be that huge support that everybody was buying on the ascending triangle. So there's two. I mean, for me, the 50-day moving average was always important, but right now it's critical because if we break through that 50-day and that becomes support again, I mean, we're right back inside the ascending triangle. Like all we need is a break of all-time highs, and it's like nothing happened. It's like we took a little a little stop at the rest stop, and then it continued on our way. Or maybe there's a world where that 50-day moving average now, instead of big support, becomes big resistance. And now we start heading back towards that like 420, 430 mark. I mean, I'm all here for it. I think we'd be idiots to guess what SPY does. But if I was a betting man with no edge, I'd probably say that we probably get through the 50-day moving average. And just because I always think that the market's rigged to the upside. So, but I don't know. I'm super excited to see what it does because the 50-day moving average was also last week where it closed below that and gapped down. So, we're within about 1%, 1.5% away from the 50-day moving average. So I'm excited.
Well,
I feel like we're watching sports.
Some of us do. Well, there's one interesting little tidbit. We talked about Wish last week. We might have actually somehow called the bottom in a segment about the Wish reversal. It was around 470. We're around 505 to 510ish right now. If we can stay above 5, that sure would be nice for the little Wish gang. So if like Wish go reverse, blah, 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 blah. But, back to the whole, we only add more when it's confirming a reversal. This thing has looked like, oh, finally Wish is reversed. It's had a positive green day, 5% before, but, never really, the reversal never came. You like to explain how you did it? Like, how would you know when to add more? Is there a certain break in the chart? It's crazy to think about that. Just last week, I was saying, if it can re-break 650, I'll start adding more. Well, it broke the downside and hit 470. So I was like, oh, well, now 650 is like 50% up from where it is right now. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so the thing that I want to make clear here is that my technical analysis is not going to be your technical analysis and vice versa. So there's never one perfect way to do anything inside the stock market. Like there's just not. So I think the biggest thing is that you have to find what works for you. Okay. So I like to keep things personally super simple. Ascending triangle, descending triangle. And that's pretty much how I keep my charts in line. Now, Wish is obviously on a massive descending triangle. I mean, we could take it all the way back, but the chart that I like to use, the 20-day 1 hour. So if you see that any time that it tests like any kind of upper band, I mean, it gets smoked and it just makes a lower low. So I think that that's really important to understand is the difference between higher highs and lower lows. Obviously, you want, my favorite setups are the stocks that do, it's like stair stepping up. Okay. They come up, make a new high, come back down, but not all the way back down, make a new high, blah, 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 etc. A really good chart, if you guys have a chart up, is any. If you look at any on the 180-day, it is a textbook stair step, beautiful, higher high, and then you see that big explosion. I mean, literally, it was on a massive downtrend from the 5s from February, and it was on a big downtrend for the next 3.5 months, all the way down to 120. And then it had that break of the descending wedge. And from there, I mean, it hit $12 within another 3 months. And the key part to this that I'm trying to explain is that if you had used, I don't want to say correct technical analysis, but you had set previous support as your stop loss, and you had really watched it carefully, you probably would have never been stopped out. Now, you would have traded around the core, but it's a textbook: come up, make a new high, come back down, create support, make a new high, come back, create support. I mean, it's beautiful textbook. Now on Wish, same thing. Okay. It's trying to break out of this downtrend, but for me, it's still super low volume. So what I would like to see it do is that I would like to see it really break over like 550 with volume. Now, where does volume come from? Not sure, because I don't know the catalyst on it right now, but let's just say SPY starts to break out like towards all-time highs. Wish probably gets volume. Let's just say that all around retail stocks, that have been hit hard, if the entire sector starts to run, Wish gets volume. And those are my favorite setups are the ones where huge descending triangle and a break to the upside with volume, because those are the ones that can have not only one move to the upside, but they can have one move to the upside where shorts are trapped, shorts double down, and then you get that secondary move where it's like, okay, we can go 550, 759 in very quickly, because shorts have just been so complacent. And why wouldn't they? Every time that Wish has tried to break out, it's gotten fucked. It's gotten smoked on it. So I think that one of the biggest things is that you need to figure out support and resistance. And really that just comes from charting. And that just comes from just doing it over and over again and seeing, okay, this doesn't really work on this time frame. Like for me, I like the 5-day, 5-minute on a shorter time frame. I also like the 180-day, 4 hours. I also like the 1 day, 1 year. So you got to find what works for you, and that's what I found works for me the best, and where I can draw really clear support lines, like BCTX. You guys know that I've been swinging BCTX for a while. I trade around the core. But now this 7, which was support last time, looks like it's holding. Now, if 7 holds on support and it starts to curl back up and it breaks over, like, let's call it $8 again, then I'll really scale into my position. Right now, I probably have like a 60% full position. I'll buy the rest right on that scale, because now I'm getting confirmation. Now, I am having some conviction with it because of the DD that I have on it. It's got like 109 million market cap. So at $7.15, I feel like it's a steal, and $109 million market cap. So any good news? Jiva is like a $3 billion company. It blows my mind. But my point is that held support right now. It's starting to try and curl back up. If it breaks out over that range, that's when I'm going to add. And then that's where I feel that's where my edge comes in a lot of the times on swing plays, because what ends up happening is that people see red and they instantly just add and they add and they add. And then that's when you get into a situation where you add Wish at 9. You add Wish at 7, you add Wish at 6, and now you have 120% of your account in with like a average of like $7, and now we're sitting at 460, and you're like, you're really upset, and you're overall just sad about it. So take a starter. The other thing is that people get way too excited about starters. Your starter should be, my rule of thumb is that take like 1% of your account as your starter. Okay. If it confirms your thesis, great, scale in. If not, fine. You had your 1% starter at $9 per share, and you haven't added a single share because it hasn't given any kind of confirmation that it's going to reverse to the upside. But the second that it does, that's when you can hit it with like 5% of your account. Now, your average price is going to be, let's say you hit it at like 550, your average price is going to be like 570 because you're adding 5 times the amount of shares at a significantly lower price. So it's really like you're just buying into it right then and there. And that takes away the headaches and that takes away all the nonsense. So yeah, are you going to nail the bottom? No, you're not. Are you going to have the best average all the time? No, you're not. Are there going to be false breakouts? Yes, but it's about creating edge. And when you can create edge and wait for this confirmation, that's when something like Wish, where everybody gets, completely fooked on, that's where you can now turn that into a fantastic trade where you get 2-3 points. So where everyone else is just breaking even, you're up like 40%.
You done?
Yeah.
And
sorry, that was long-winded.
no, it's good. I think another thing that is cool with ones like Wish and one just a nice little strategy for a lot of these that come with little Wall Street Bets territory is you can really get some farther out options, maybe January, February of some ridiculously high price. Like right now, 15 is a ridiculously high price where it was pretty normal a month and a half ago. Wait for Wall Street Bets to eventually run these up because they will. Even if it's for a day, you look at Clove, UWMC, run 300%. And these options can just be low risk, far out. I have like some like January and February, like $15, $17 for like, what is it, like 16 cents or something. So, just, and that could give you some solace and maybe making back some of those losses. At least it's doing it for me. So, well, I think that should be enough to hold you guys over. And for our NFT gang, Jason Falovitch. And yeah, he co-founded NFT with Mark Cuban. He's also sitting with Drake's cousin while he records that. And as a Drake stan, that was pretty cool to me. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Talks a lot about NFTs, cryptos, why Mark Cuban's going all in, and athletes and shit that are getting in. So hope you all enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
He also roasts Uzi too. That's fun.
Yeah, he doesn't like Lil Uzi's NFT drop. But before we drop too many spoilers, you guys enjoy and have a good weekend. Today we have on Jason Falovitch, and we wanted someone to talk about NFTs, so we went to Instagram, typed in @NFT, and this was who we found. How are you doing today?
I'm great, man. Busy with NFTs. How you guys doing?
Oh, awesome.
I got a little smoke today in the market. That's all right. Just a normal Tuesday.
NFT game or crypto?
Stocks.
Yeah.
Oh, stocks. Okay. I just honestly don't fuck with anything but crypto.
Yeah. I mean, if you stay in your lane, you know how to make money. Yeah.
That's all that matters. Right? Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess people that were super involved in crypto automatically gravitated towards NFTs. Is that how you got involved with them as well?
You know what? I actually didn't come from the crypto game at all. I come from the gambling space. Well, before that, I come from the boxing space. Actually, I used to manage former 5-time heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. Like I managed his business career, and I was running one of the Muhammad Ali's foundations. And then from there, I was recruited to be the president of a digital television network. And then from there, I decided I'm going to go and do my own thing. Myself, one of my best friends, Michael Bisping, who's a former UFC champ of the world. One of my other best buddies, Ryan Silverstein. Wow, he's here with me. So Roy Hibbert, a former NBA player. And then my business partner, Aaron Nebraskin. So we got into that play line, which is the largest sports lottery in the world right now. During the pandemic, all of our revenue went to zero in one day when sports were gone. And we were buying a lot of companies that have large social followings, NFT being, NBA memes being one of them. We ended up selling half that company to Mark Cuban. And we started buying more platforms over the last 2 years or so. Did very well there. And about, I want to say 9 months ago, Mark's like, we're going all in on NFT. I'm like, what the fuck is NFT? Like I didn't even own crypto. Like I never even made a purchase in crypto because I always felt like I was too late to get in, even though now I realize how early I am. But back then from the outside looking in, it just feels like that, people got into Bitcoin at $100 and why am I buying it at 20,000? I wish I did, but you know what I mean? And then I remember that one of the guys on Mark's team's like, the last time Mark said he's going all in on something, he put $1 billion into Amazon. So I figured he knows what he's talking about a little more than I do and managed to get my hands on at NFT on Instagram, and the rest is history.
How closely do you work with Mark Cuban now? I mean, I know you said, I think you, sold half of it to him, or do y'all work together closely now, or how's that?
Yeah, well, we created a joint venture. Mark owns 50%, and our company Playline Sports and Entertainment owns the other 50%. So we're equally partners. We funded the company equally, and we've just been aggressively making acquisitions. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's every day, sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's once a month, right? It's whenever we need to do business together. But typically, once a week, roughly once or twice. During the craze of NFT, it was like multiple times a day. But Mark's so busy, man. We do our thing. Yeah. He does his thing. If we need him, he knows where to find him. And we share DMs a lot. But yeah, other than that, he's just a good dude. He's a really good dude.
So there's like so many parts about the NFTs when it comes to the community, the fact that it's all blockchain based, and then you have the art behind it. Over the course of the past month or so that you've really dove into it and decided like you are going all in on this.
I wouldn't say a month, 9 months.
Or 9 months, okay. That you've gone like all in on this, what have you found that you really like about this that's different than any other projects?
The community. It's the craziest, greatest community. People are so passionate. They're so loyal to their community as an NFT. It's like when these celebrities were coming in with all these cash grab games, they don't support it. Like they stick together. And it's really about the community. And I love being part of that community. And, I want to believe I helped grow it, given that I started at NFT with Mark and my partner, Aaron. But community is probably the most exciting part. It's just a wild game. It's like the wild, wild west out there right now.
Yeah, it seems like a more kind, tame crypto community, not as culty.
No, that's for sure. It's definitely a different demo, I'd say.
Dan and I were at a college recently, and we were asked if we could explain NFT in 2 sentences. And we had no answer. Well, we literally sat there and like looked at each other, made a joke, I think.
Pictures.
Yeah. So if you could, can you explain NFTs in 2 sentences?
I can give it to you in 1 word, 3 words, maybe 1 sentence. It's basically like a digital letter of authenticity. So if you have a card, like a baseball card, you got to send that shit out, get it authenticated. There's a whole process. When you upload your NFT to the blockchain, it's yours. No one can question it, because the beauty of the blockchain, crypto, everything's decentralized. So everyone can see exactly what everyone has in their wallet if they have their crypto address, right? So the beauty of NFT is if it is there and it's minted, there's no question. It's impossible for me to say that that's not the authentic piece of art or whatever you're trying to sell, the baseball card. So I think, to put it simply, it's a digital letter of authenticity.
I got 2 words.
That makes sense.
I got my buddy Ryan Silverstein here, Drake's cousin. He wants to say something. Is that cool?
I got 2 words.
What?
The future.
What's the future?
The future.
Well, okay. I think that kind of is a good transition into why do you think this is the future? I mean, is it just because, hey, the next blockchain thing is like hype off of crypto? What makes these pictures the future?
I'll tell you why. So when I look at NFT, I don't look at digital art. That's kind of the hot theme right now. However, the reason why NFTs, I think, are so exciting is the utility of it, the expansion of it. I mean, look at Tory Lanez right now. He's making millions and millions of dollars on his because he's releasing his own music and connecting directly with his fans.
I'm surprised more musicians aren't doing it right now.
Yeah, no, we did a Rich the Kids last week, sold out. We have some pretty exciting ones. Like we're doing Lil Baby, and a lot more I can't really tell, but we only fuck with the A-listers because we kind of we're NFT, right? We have to maintain that standard.
You're sitting with Drake's cousin right now. You gotta stick with the A-listers.
Yeah, I mean, why not? But so basically, you're asking me why is NFT so exciting?
Yeah, like what? Why should we buy now instead of maybe waiting for it to die down? Like what in 10 years?
Yeah, so when we're referring to the digital art perspective of it, the reason why I think it's so valuable is like I got 3 kids, twins who are 2, a baby who's 3 months, and when my kid buys a house, he's not going to be putting art on his wall. He's going to have a screen on his wall, kind of indented in the wall, and he's just going to show his NFTs on there. The world is digital. Everything's going digital. Crypto's digital. It's the pattern of life. Everything goes in that direction. My kids will never buy a piece of physical art. I don't think so. I believe that NFT is their way of showing off what they got.
But wouldn't that exclusivity of like, I would understand in like a virtual world, only one person could have like, let's say the top shot of the dunk or the alley-oop from Dwayne Wade to LeBron. The one person, let's say, paid $6 million for it, 2020, when we're all in VR 20 years from now, they're the only ones. But what's keeping me from having that on my wall? I mean, what would you say to it's just a JPG people?
I would say that they're going to miss the boat. This is our .com. I'm 36. I don't know how old you guys are. Definitely younger than me. I was too young to capitalize on the .com boom. This is our generation. I wouldn't say mine, more you guys and younger. This is their .com boom. For example, when I do business with a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid on social media, they don't have bank accounts. A lot of them don't have it. If I don't do a transaction in crypto, we're not doing a deal. And that's the next evolution of people. That's why Bitcoin's going to hit the fucking moon. Ethereum's going to hit the fucking moon. I think Bitcoin's the strongest, but just given the scarcity and the fact that, it can't really compete with Bitcoin, you can compete with Ethereum like Cardano or Solana or other cool coins. But I feel like I'm so deep into the game right now. I just know more than everyone else on where that future holds. And I mean, even like think about voting, the next presidential voting campaign ballots. If those are NFTs, there's no question. There's no fudging that shit. If, you can't say, oh, I had X amount of votes, but no, they're all on the fucking blockchain.
Yeah, I think blockchain for voting is definitely something that makes a whole lot of sense.
I have friends who are big actors and they're going to NFT their movies because they're going to get 100% of the revenue. And in reality, when someone goes to see a Brad Pitt movie, they're going for Brad Pitt, right? Not the production company or the executive producer, maybe the director here and there. But in reality, Brad Pitt gets a great, handsome $20 million, I'm sure. But the production company is making hundreds of millions on his back, right? So I think it's giving people an opportunity to take back the control of their brand and make all the money. Why is someone like Tory Lanez going to give 80% or 90% to his label because they're giving him $1 million in advance and they'll make tens of millions on his back, right? So I think it's really going to disrupt the music and movie business at the very least. But I think this application can work with, I think it could change the world.
So question on the NFT process, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you can pretty much create as many different NFTs as you want, because it's basically like you take arm 1 or arm 2, and then it's like randomized and generated by a computer, correct? Like that's pretty, and then based on those numbers comes like the rarity. Is that pretty much how like if I were creating
Depends on the project.
Yeah, I think that's just like the punks and stuff, right?
Yeah, so those are called PFP projects, avatars, like profile.
Okay.
Usually they're a collection of 10,000, and each of them have different traits. And the rarer traits you have is what makes your NFT more expensive, right? Like anything, it's scarcity. Like a Mickey Mantle baseball card sold for 4.5 million. I think it was 4.5 in January. And actually, they came to us to NFT the card for them because the fact that you maintain a percentage of that sale in perpetuity forever. So let's just say the dude bought the Mickey Mantle for 4.5 million and he sells it to John for 5 million. That's John's. John can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. If this dude put it on an NFT or listed as an NFT and minted it for 5 million, he can maintain 5 or 10% of that forever. So if the next guys that buy it for $1 million plus, he's getting 5-10%. It's called 10% for argument's sake, right? He's making 100K. And then if that continues to grow in value and the guy who bought it for $1 million sells it for 10 million, well, that dude who bought originally the physical car for 4.5 million is now making 10% off that next purchase, which is $1 million, and so on, etc. That's a game changer.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically like a cash flow system, if you will. I mean, as long as the market's there, it could just be a constant cash flow.
Right, but it's very volatile. That's a scary thing about what we're doing. Yeah. Everything depends on something else. It's
I think control. You have like NFT. The price of NFTs could tank, but also the Ethereum could tank.
Exactly. That changes the game. You have to consider both of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And going back to what you were talking about with the PFPs, why do you think like the crypto punks became the Richard Mills of the NFT world?
It's really about whose hands they're in. Gary V owns one. A lot of times when
Banks,
like when I own one on the co-founder NFT, like I move the floor. It's just about influential people in the game, owning them and creating the hype. Just like crypto, right? It's all hype. Like, what happened yesterday, I don't know, Brazil called Bitcoin, announced that Bitcoin will be a legal tender. Bitcoin went up. China blocked Bitcoin. Bitcoin went down. That's uncontrollable stuff. So it's definitely, it's very volatile, but your upside, it really is unlimited. And it's just like with CryptoPunks, it just was something that was so basic. And the hype of CryptoPunk sold for 100K. And then like someone's like, wow, that's why I'm going to get one for 120K. Now they're selling for 6 million. It's hype, man, like anything else in life.
I mean, that's what really sparked my interest because I saw the price of those go. And then, but I mean, my first introduction to them, I think along with a lot of other people, was around 7 months ago with the Top Shot thing.
Yeah.
Which one in particular caught you and I guess Mark Cuban's interest as well to make you guys so into this?
So I would say, Top Shot came, but Mark was really pioneering this space. Mark was one of the original, I don't know how you want to call him, influencer, billionaire, team owner. He's got everything.
Mogul.
The mogul, yeah. But he was the one that really, I find that he's almost responsible for the growth of NFT. He was out there doing so much media, so much press before anybody was. He saw the opportunity, he invested in OpenSea and all these other platforms. He just has a vision, man. And I honestly believe that he deserves a portion of the credit for making NFT what they are today.
There's rumors out there that, do you guys have a plan or an idea or any comments on if, let's say, governments try to centralize and try to create like their own kind of cryptocurrency and they try and like change the direction of where, NFTs, cryptocurrency is going?
Mm-hmm. They can't. That's what makes crypto so beautiful. It's decentralized. No one controls it. A government can't take it over. The government's always going to want to own everything you do, especially your money. And they can't now. That's why there's so much constant battles from like physical cash to, digital currency. It's like we're losing money with cash right now. It's deflate. Like the inflation is just too much money is being printed. And crypto, has no one controlling the outcome. And that's why it's so amazing. Are they going to lock down on the tax element of it when you take it out of your blockchain and put it in your bank account? Or maybe you'll need to have your, your SIN number or social security number when you register at, a crypto platform in the future. But some you do have to do it now, but they just can't. Crypto is growing so fast that the government can't catch up. There's a million new wallets registered every fucking day for Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, right? It's created a monster on its own that cannot be tamed. They can do a digital fucking currency, but it's centralized. That defeats the whole purpose of crypto.
What do you think about like kind of the comparison when it comes to like cryptos and NFTs? And it's like what phase they're both in. I mean, you think about NFTs still being in like phase one, but it's kind of encompassed just about all of the crypto phases as well when it comes to, we've got this, we've had a crazy run up. Then we had all these you had shit coins in crypto. And then a lot of these, I'm sure you're going to see a bunch of pump and dumps in NFTs, whether it be like the Save the Kids token that you saw a few months ago, just shit NFTs that tank. What phase do you think we're kind of in? And like, what do you think about like the comparison of the two?
I think it's a learning curve still on NFT. It's like I said earlier, it's a Wild West. And because everyone is anonymous, if they want to be, there's a lot of sketch out there. There's a lot of people pulling rugs. And, I think once we evolve the technology, once more people know about it, those scammers, whoever are trying to just make a quick buck they'll be gone over time. But right now, because it's Wild West and it's so early, like Mark says, we're at the beginning of the first inning, or we're at the bottom of the first inning. Sorry. I can't tell you where I think it's going to go. I think that it's just going to be more refined. Like it definitely still is the Wild West, and 95% of the people in the world don't even know about it. And once the use case of those become more global and mainstream, then it's going to be like any other industry. It'll be more controlled and, tax implications. But right now it's like, now's the time to get into the game because it's so fucking exciting.
Yeah. I just bought my first NFT 2 months ago. Well, my only NFT 2 months ago. And I will say that even, I just tweeted out with like a hashtag, like they're called goons. And I tweeted out like hashtag goon squad or something. And the community, as you were saying,
they're nuts, dude.
They're nuts. The only reason that I truly bought it was because he was smoking a cigar and had a stock on his hat. And like I said, I tweeted out, and I got like 2,000 followers from it. And it was all like, dude, like great to have you. And I was like, this feels like I'm going back to like a fraternity party or something.
It's cool, man. The community is really big. The community loves what they do. Like I had one of my employees, he bought a cool cat 2 months ago for 1 ETH, and he just told me today it's worth 70 grand.
Jeez.
So it's like it's wild, man.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about, especially when, just a year ago you would see that and you just be like, that is just a picture with nothing behind it. And but now everyone knows more, and it's just still just beginning. I was on a live space the other day with John Wall talking about his NFT drop, the Baby Ballers. And I had an idea. I was like, is there any way you could do like a Willy Wonka golden ticket in one, where it'd either be like courtside tickets or a signed thing?
They do that a lot.
Yeah.
They do it a lot.
Yeah. And stuff like that. Is there anything like good ideas that, I don't want you to spoil any of your secrets, but like that you see entertainers, whether it be musicians or actors, it just becoming like a common thing?
Yeah. Like you asked me what I think.
Like, just things that like giveaways or just shit you may see like in the NFT space, whether it be, hey, one of every 100 people that buy these will get a signed John Wall jersey, or hey, whoever, stuff like that.
I think stuff like that will get a little bit more. I like it. I think you'll see a lot of these athletes and celebrities come into the game slowly or quicker than they are right now, whatever, because they are coming pretty hot. I think a lottery style game is going to be pretty fucking dope. I'm not sure what the regulations are on that at this point.
Even things like if you have an NFT, you get 50%. If you show us you have one of our NFTs, you get a 50% off anytime you come here.
Well, we're doing a concert in the metaverse with a massive celebrity, a rapper, and you can only get in if you have this NFT, right? And
That's cool.
there's certain clubs that you can only get into in the metaverse that are, if you own a Bored Ape, right, that you're paying 6-7 figures for. It's a lot of it is exclusivity. It's like, if you own this thing, you're part of that fucking club and you get perks.
It's kind of, because we are a stock podcast. It's kind of like AMC giving away shareholders, get like a free popcorn if you're like a shareholder of AMC, stuff like that. Question that
your customers committed, right? You're giving them more value for why they invested in you.
Yeah.
I like the idea as a whole, just because it just gets more people involved in investing, whether it be NFTs, stocks, or crypto.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's all interconnected in some, like every stocks, crypto, NFTs, I think it's all the same family, or maybe will be more so, but it's all interconnected.
I saw an article recently that was criticizing some entertainers and some athletes that were just getting into the NFT game for the money grab aspect. Mm-hmm. Is there, obviously there's some downside, but is there any like true downside because of, okay. Cause like, is it one of those things that you need to watch out for if you're trying to get into the NFT space? Can you touch on that?
Sure. So I'll give you an example. Lil Uzi came into the game, right?
Yeah.
And he sold this shit out, and then they pulled the rug, and everyone lost everything, right?
How do they pull a rug on an NFT?
They don't fulfill their obligations, right? So you need a roadmap, and people are buying your NFT because there's additional value, or like maybe you can win a free concert to show, or free backstage passes, or Lil Uzi jerseys, whatever it is, right?
Okay.
So they're not fulfilling their obligations. Lil Uzi came in with the mentality of a cash grab.
Yeah.
He made his money and got out and deleted all his content. The industry does not accept that shit. If you do that to the NFT community, you'll never be back in this space again. And that's what these guys don't understand. Lil Uzi's like, wow, we made $2-3 million, but he's just cost himself 30, 40, 50, 100 million in the next 5 years plus. Like, if you get into the community and you're a massive celebrity and you actually be part of the community, you're going to make more money than you do touring.
The community is going to appreciate you hopping on early. They're going to be like, this isn't some guy just riding the bandwagon. He was here from day one,
Right. Like, if they're in the clubhouses, if they're in, on the Discords, or they're on AMAs, like that's what the community wants to see. Are you posting that shit on your social? How behind are you with this project? And Lil Uzi shot the fucking bed. You should have done that. I don't know who the team was behind it, but I imagine there was some complications. I don't think he knew what he was getting himself into, but he's not coming back. I don't care how big you are. You're not going to get another second because that never ends. It's all digital. It's all blockchain. Everything's reported.
Is there red flags, or there's just like, hey, there's these obligations and they just weren't fulfilled, and that's that? Like, is there anything that if I wanted to get into the game, more seriously, that I could watch out for? Or is it just one of those things where like sometimes just people kind of get
hey,
fucked?
maybe I should know Lil Uzi didn't know shit about his NFT project he had.
That's the problem with the game, because it's so unregulated.
Because there's not that much regulation.
It's like people are bad people. Like there's scammers and everything, but this is much easier to scam a community because anonymous. You can be anonymous if you want. No one can trace you. You're known by a code, an address, right? If you're even known by that, and people can switch their addresses every second of the day. That's the scary part of the game, man. I'm going to be honest with you. And you have that in every industry when it's a very, very hot industry and you can get away with, robbing people. Like the thing is, let's just say you get hacked and they steal all your crypto, moving off from like kind of connecting back to why the NFTs are a little scary. If someone knows you own a lot of crypto and they hack you and take your money, how the fuck are you going to get that back? No one has a clue who it is. It's decentralized, right? You can't. It's like you can't. That's a pro to it, but that's also the con, right? And back to NFTs, I see people coming into their community. They make 2-3 million. They know they cannot fulfill the obligations of the roadmap, and they used it to sell people on the hype of buying their NFTs. And they're anonymous, and they just fucking disappear and take the 2-3 million, and no one ever sees them again. That's just like that. That has to be more focused on and more organized and more regulated, because that could hurt. That's going to hurt the industry. And if some guy gets the rug pulled, like, why is he going to buy another NFT?
Yeah, it feels like investor fraud. I mean, like if that happened, in the stock market, I mean, they would be fined, jail, maybe, something like that.
I know stories of people just, having like, billionaire NFT guys are just they're getting held up, gun to the head, transfer the money, money's transferred. Now what?
Wow, that's insane.
That's
so scary.
Fucking game, but it's so exciting and lucrative at the same time. But you just gotta be right by the community, and they'll take care of you.
Like selling coke in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. We're selling. Put it this way: at NFT, our platform, we are selling crack, and everyone else in the space has weed. I'll tell you why. If you're a celebrity or anybody, you want to get into NFTs. What are you going to do?
Make your own, probably.
Like, how are you going to get started?
Talk to your manager and be like, hey, I want NFTs.
And what's he going to do?
Shit, I don't know. I didn't think this far.
I'll tell you what happens, okay? So when, let's, for example, Rich the Kid is my boy. We did his NFT. He goes to NFT. He goes to Instagram or Twitter or whatever. He types in the 3 letters. What do you see? You see NFT. Our
Gotcha.
It's verified. You know what I mean? They actually, most people think we own NFT like it's our brand. We have a lockdown on the social aspect of NFT, and for us, it's like we give that back to the community. We post, like, all of our swipe up stories are free. We're selling people's 10,000 collections sometimes from a swipe up. So that's kind of what blew us.
You're the first step on the NFT roadmap.
And if you don't go to us, where do you go?
Yeah, but I don't fucking know. And if you don't know about cryptocurrencies and blockchain, like crypto wallets and shit already, you are clueless in the whole thing.
None of these celebrities do.
Yeah.
Right? We get 1,000+ DMs a day on Ad NFT, and I'm the business contact at JF, and I get 1,000+ a day. And those are, half the people are begging to pay you to be on your platform. 25% of them are just junk. They're just begging for free shit. And the other 25 are celebrities who want to get into the game. They don't know how. And they come here. They come to us. Like, we're going to be involved in NFT Con. And that's going to be the next level, kind of like a complex con, but for NFTs.
When is that?
It hasn't been announced yet. That's
okay. Secret.
Something in the works.
Coming soon.
To figure it out.
So, kind of, I think my last question would be, if we wanted to get into the NFT space and not even be a cash grab, it could even go all to charity, and we wanted to start selling our episodes as NFTs without promising extra shit behind it, and if they're released to everyone, but you just own this one, is there any reason they should buy that without providing any extra?
You don't need to do anything. Like, I'm doing Wiz Khalifa's drop. I think it's October 15th. And he just has fucking amazing content. Like, he's got a great art with one of the best NFT artists in the world. That's enough. It's because of these PFP collections, the 10,000 collections. There's so many people that want to buy, and there's so much competition. You have to provide a dope roadmap. If you're just going out and you have a very quality episode or a movie, people are going to buy it because of the quality, right? So the utility that I'm referring to of the roadmap is it's not like if a guy is doing a 1-of-1 drop or a 10-of-10 drop, it's not even a thing. Like, you don't need a roadmap. Unless you want to be really, really creative, like if you own one of my 10 NFTs, you get something unbelievable. But you don't. In that environment, whether it be a show or a movie, etc., it's about the quality of the content.
Like, hey, if you bought the NFT for this episode, if you have any questions within the following month about that episode, you can ask us.
Oh, man, we've done some shit with rappers. Like, you got to be a producer on their next song. You got to help write their next song and share in that in the publishing rights. Like, you can do a lot of cool shit.
I think the space, like you've been talking about, only has room to grow, and there's so many like the amount of marketing ideas that you could potentially put in like shit like that is just going to blow up. I think it's going to be awesome.
I hope so.
Hey man, well, if it doesn't,
behind it.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. If Hugh, you don't have anything.
No, I mean, just what are some of your favorite projects?
Claylings. I fucking love claylings. They're the coolest little fuckers out there.
Wait, can I show you my NFT and see if you ever seen it?
Sure.
Or wait, have you ever heard of the Goons?
Yeah, I have heard of the Goons. I don't remember the context behind it, but I have heard of the Goons. Let me see it, and I'll tell you.
Let's go. He's a good looking. Oh wait, first off, I was gifted this guy a dick.
Is that D's nuts?
Yeah. I was gifted that guy, and then this is my little guy.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are cool. Those are dope.
Yeah. Like I said, cigar and stock. That's the reason I own it.
Clayling, guys. Claylings. That's the next fucking CryptoPunk. That's the next Bored Ape. Claylings are so fucking cool.
Well, I'll buy a bunch of those before we drop the episode.
Yeah, I own a bunch of those guys. I'm really behind that one.
Okay, Claylings, and then you mentioned Wiz Khalifa, you mentioned a few others. Who are you most excited about their drop upcoming?
I mean, Wiz is going to be fucking amazing. I would say this week Tarzan, the real Tarzan. If you know the real Tarzan, he has a great NFT with amazing utility. Like you have warriors battling each other, and it's pretty cool. I'm really excited about that. And Lil Baby's got his first one coming, so I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, awesome. I remember we're just watching the NFL on Sunday, and you know how they have like the cartoon looking versions of everyone. They make a play or some shit comes up, and they're like, "Why do they have that?" I was like, I don't know, but if they sold that as an NFT, like as the NFL's official NFTs, oh my god, those would
game over.
Yeah, so much.
Like not enough people understand the game yet. Visa bought a CryptoPunk, but they just want to stay relevant. Do they understand the game? Probably not.
All right, man. Well, like I said, really appreciate you coming on, and looking forward to talking again soon, man.
Yeah, likewise. And if you have any NFT questions, you know where to find me at JF. Let's get it.
All right, and everyone make sure you go follow at NFT on Instagram. This is project with Mark Cuban.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Great talking. And
hey, thanks for coming on, man.
My pleasure.
Peace.
Yeah.